there are a few important things that to me define and frame an innovation system ecosystem. First of all, of course, the mix of various players, stakeholders, community members, whatever we choose to call them, but stakeholders that are critical for innovation, for playing this significant role in creating value in a larger ecosystem by transforming new ideas into new products and new services that is possible to bring to the market. And then and first of all, of course, these stakeholders, I see that there are a few important categories. Of course, to me, I see big corporates and universities, research institutions, and startup scale-up as very important stakeholder groups, but also government and government-alike organizations can play a crucial role, and of course also the capital side with investors and so on. That is perhaps the key players. But in recent years, I have been becoming a little bit aware that perhaps media and influencers should have a stronger role in developing and promoting innovation ecosystems, even if we talk about ecosystems that operate on a local level. It's not necessary just to have media and influencers as a stakeholder group when we talk about ecosystems that operate on a perhaps national or regional level. Even in a city, a relative small city like Aarhus, it's difficult to share the stories, to communicate and bring all key players up to date with the strategy, goals, and as I said, good stories. So perhaps media and influencers should play a stronger role. And next to the players, I see there are a few things that as awareness among the key players about the shared vision, their overall goals, and also it's important to me that you have a perspective that we need to share long-term commitment. It takes years to develop a strong and successful innovation ecosystem. So and perhaps also critical mass in some of the stakeholder groups, especially when it comes to big corporates and knowledge and research. I think critical mass is a vital element. Well, perhaps the easy and also politically correct answer is of course yes, but then again, awareness, long-term commitment, and shared commitment, and critical mass. I think that we try to develop ecosystems in the way that I defined them, and we have different ecosystems, but again, perhaps also on different levels of maturity from very immature ecosystems to somehow very mature ecosystems. Perhaps the last I mentioned, perhaps within food and within tech, we have some of our more mature ecosystems. If I look back, actually, it has been the thinking and the way we try to contribute to the development of our city with the different business plans and action plans and the investments from the city of Aarhus. But then again, 20 years back, we didn't call it innovation ecosystems. It was more perhaps common sense that we saw that we had to bring different stakeholders together around shared visions and shared goals and strategies for developing Aarhus. In recent years, however, we have become more structured, and we are, you could say, taking a deep dive also in the theory behind the ecosystems. And then as an example, I can say that we over the past 2 years have had a strong cooperation with the MIT in Boston, and together with representatives from the universities, from the startup community, the big corporations, and also the investment community. And together with MIT, we have taken some actions to develop a strategy of that with exactly innovation-driven ecosystems, and with a focus on our food sector, our life science and welfare tech sector, and also our clean tech sector. It's again a mix of different aspects why both the company side and also the research institutions choose to look this way. And I see that one thing is interest. I also see that there's somewhat driven of need, and again, some players are more trend driven, and last perhaps a more policy driven way that the company side and the research sides choose to go this way. I think we have seen it in very long time within the pharma and biotech industry, where the big pharma companies early understood that they needed the small upcoming biotech companies and the research from the public research institutions. They needed to establish a strong cooperation, because they was not able to actually innovate themselves in a speed and in a scale that was needed for big company, and you could say that the results and the methods that sector has come up with has more or less spread to other sectors, and again, some are trend driven. They can see that, well, some other interesting players and companies are choosing to involve in open innovation and alike, and tend to jump on that trend. And lastly, I see that what I mean with policy driven is because that we see that public funding programs, research funding, and innovation programs tend to request that big, small startup companies go together with the research institutions. So we sort of also can orchestrate that we are bringing the actors more closely together in a strong cooperation around innovation. I think it's we have to perhaps we perhaps have to look upon this in with a perspective that we have, as I said, immature innovation ecosystems, and we have in the other end very mature. And to me, I think we should define success differently between immature ecosystems and mature ecosystems. For very mature ecosystems, it is of course you can look up number, type, scale of innovation, meaning number of new products, new services successfully introduced and brought to the market, number of new startups created, number of startups that has taken a successful journey from being startup to scale up and further, a number of new jobs created and so on. But in the early stage of an development of an ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, I think you should more look up as successful criteria for success. What I also earlier mentioned, this awareness among key players, the shared visions, the shared goals, and keeping a strong commitment around the key players. That is perhaps in the first years the most the best indicator of success. That if you make this long-term commitment and a shared strategy and action plans. If we see branding also including communication, I see media and influencers as a very important and perhaps, as I said, also a stakeholder group of growing importance. We have to communicate and of course also brand the why and the who. What are we trying to achieve? Who are the partners behind the innovation ecosystems, and of course also that the context of innovation and that we want to attract new partners into the ecosystem. And we also have to bring in the media and influencers to communicate the how, the strategies and concrete actions, and of course also the outcome, the good case stories, the results, what we do and what we achieve in the development of the innovation ecosystems. And in that, I think it is important that we not just rely on our own ability to brand and communicate, but seeing this professional stakeholder group of media and influencers as a perhaps important partner. I think that is one of the areas where we need to improve in the city of Aarhus. We need to be more systematic and thorough in the ongoing work of analyzing and evaluating the entire chain from when we start with input over activities, output, outcome, and the impact. This, of course, in order to constantly be able to adjust and optimize the goal setting, the strategy and action plans, but also in relation to being able to what we had talked about earlier, to communicate sharp and accurately about achieved results, and also including the economic impacts that is a result to the partners behind the ecosystem, but also in a broader sense to the citizens of Aarhus. We use tax money in investing in these innovation ecosystems, so we also have to have a view on the broad citizens group in Aarhus to also share some of the ideas and whys behind why we invest in this. And as I said earlier, our cooperation with MIT in Boston is exactly with focus on how we in the future are more data and fact driven in our approach to innovation ecosystem development.